Hi everybody, welcome to part 3 of building Western Auto. I'm not going to call it Dutch's restaurant. That was just sort of out of my era. I'm sure Dutch's had closed, judging by the pictures I found. So I'm going to call it Western Auto in my scheme. The picture I have with the cars in it looks like that's probably what it was in 1980. Someone asked me if I was going to model the little building behind it here. I said, yes, I am, but it's not going to be part of this project. Actually, the real question was, are you going to model the red building behind it? So I think they're thinking that I'm going to model this as white, and I'm not. It was not white until later on. In 1980, when it was a Western Auto, it was unpainted brick. Sunday Shore was unpainted brick. Dutch's Restaurant was unpainted brick. I imagine they painted it white because when they wanted to paint the murals on it, they wanted the murals to stand out. So it's going to be a red brick building. Okay. So I've cut out the shape from 040 styrene. My sidewalks are 080 styrene. The reason why I did that is I used the Woodland Scenics paving system, and it tends to make the roads kind of thick. If I do my next layout, someday I'm going to use styrene, I think, for the roads. But anyhow, so I needed to have a curb stuck up above the road, so I used 080 styrene for my sidewalks, which is not a problem. You know, I scribed the lines in them. They look pretty decent. This is 040 styrene right here, just for the base to glue the walls to. Now, 080 styrene translates out to about a foot thick in N scale. So if you remember, I said in the last one, the windows are 4 feet above the sidewalk. So if I have the wall sitting down here, I need to measure 5 feet up on the walls. So they ended up 4 feet above the sidewalk. So I just I'm going to have to add a foot to everything to account for this thick sidewalk. So instead of making it 15 foot tall, I'm going to make it 16 foot tall, but it's going to look like it's 15 feet tall from the street view. So let's lay out the walls now. Well, the worst part about this series for me is I have to clean my workbench up a little bit because I'm a notorious slob. But I do want to talk a little bit about, if you're working with styrene, don't cheap out on the knife blades. Change them all the time. I'm real bad about that. Not changing blades and they get dull. You can't make a good sharp cut with the dull blade. Also, safety. Put your blades back in a container like this. When this is full, I will tape the end shut and I'll throw it in the trash. You know, it shouldn't ever come in contact with anybody, but no point in having these blades floating around loose in your trash where somebody could puncture a bag, trash man or something and get it. So use a sharp blade, dispose of your old blades properly. Okay, when I started laying out the windows, I found out I had a little bit of a problem. And the template that I showed you, I said I was going to make it 50 feet. That's this wall, and actually, this wall is 50 feet. This wall is not 50 feet. So that diagram I showed you with my windows did not exactly work. However, I figured it out. So this wall is actually 45 feet long, which is 540 inches. I know my windows I'm using are 66 inches long. So if I go 72, 66, 72, 66, 72, 66, and then I have a spot for the door, which will be 54 inches. So the door is going to fill up most of that. And then I will have enough room for another 66-inch window and I think 6 feet at the end. It all comes out okay. So it's still going to look, I'm still going to have 4 windows. It's going to look okay. But I don't know how many of you are building along with me or following along with the math. So I wanted to make sure that I let you know that this dimension is 50 feet, but this is 45 because it's cut off. Remember the corner was cut off to match the tracks. So I'm going to start laying out the windows now. Actually, I've already started. So basically, this line is 5 feet above. That's five scale feet from here. And you see I've got little marks on there. And the W, my sloppy W, is where the windows are going to be. So now I'm going to complete sort of drawing out the windows, and I'm going to start cutting them out. All right, so I've got the windows laid out. I'm actually, once you cut something too big, you're done for. So I'm actually going to undersize it just a little bit and then file it to make the final dimensions. Again, remember, I'm going to sheet this. This is 030 styrene, and I'm going to cover this with brick, the N-Scale Architect brick sheeting. So if I mess up a little bit, I can fix it with the brick sheeting, but I'm still going to be very cautious how I do it. This line here is basically the height of the sidewalk. So when it's sitting like this up against the sidewalk, the bottom of the window will be 4 feet above the sidewalk. So I'm going to use Boomer's method, and I'm going to take a pin vise and I'm going to drill out the corners here, which helps you square the corners up. Unfortunately, in N-Scale, the chisel blade, which is fantastic, window, it's usually wider than the windows are, so you can't really use it. You can use it for the doors height, but you're just gonna have to cut it with the regular X-Acto blade, which is another reason to have a good sharp blade. So I drilled the hole in the first one. As you can see, the chisel blade is just too wide for the height, but I believe I can use it for the width, which is good because it really helps cut a straight line. So I'm just going to do all 4 windows and the door, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So here's the first wall. This is the wall that you'll be able to see looking up Main Street toward the tracks. The door is just something out of my scrap box. So that is actually this wall right here. So this wall I can't see it. This is where the little building goes. I may put a door back here or something just for interest, because you'll be able to see it on my layout. A little door, window, something like that toward the back where that little building wouldn't cover it up. This wall here, again, I can't see it in real life. May have to make a trip to Oak Hill to prowl around, hopefully not get shot, see what that wall has on it. Don't know if it has windows or anything at all on it. And this is the track side, and it has, basically it's a virtual mirror image of this. So it has 3 windows, a door, another window, and because it's longer, it actually has a couple more windows out here. And there is a little tiny sidewalk that runs along here too. And then, of course, this is where the doorway is. Now, it was Dutch's restaurant. It was just some wooden, like, double door things. But now it's like it's sort of a modern glass door. Probably they did that when they put the Western Auto in, or the Sundry Store. That's what it looks for the Western Auto. So I'm going to continue working on, I'm going to make this wall, and I'll go ahead and make the other 2 walls. But again, I can't figure out what I'm going to put on them. I may just freelance these 2 walls. And the episode that I post next week, I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this glass door, which is sort of how I did my post office that some people were asking me about, how I did that. So I'll give you a little bit more detail on that. So that'll end it for now. Again, if you have any questions or comments, let me know. And everybody stay safe. So here's a preview what I'll be working on next week, this little wall here. And I want to end it with a picture I took of Chance. He doesn't know how to play with toys, really, but we often catch him sort of curled up next to a toy. I don't know if it's sort of comforting him or whatever, but I thought it was a really cute picture. I thought you'd enjoy it. He's doing well.